A Malaysia volunteer feels blessed and will finally be certified as a Tzu Chi commissioner this year. One local volunteer at the ophthalmology area was able to undergo the necessary surgery to correct her cross-eye condition. Welcome to the Headlines. I'm Lori Chen. Thank you for joining us. Han Bingdan is a Tzu Chi volunteer from Malacca, Malaysia. She has been engaged in various charity works for the past 10 years. In the process of giving, she has learned to cherish her blessings. This year, she's finally able to come to Taiwan to be certified as a Tzu Chi commissioner.
IC 啊，发 IC 器啊，要穿 uniform 了哈，平常这样啦。check 一下这个号码对吗？
Han Bingdan has joined Tzu Chi to volunteer for 10 years now. She focuses mainly on charity missions, whether it be home visits, home cleanup, scholarship distributions, or the Happy Campus program. She is always there to help.
We should do what we can to help. If there are many individuals that need us to care for, it will not be a worry to us. Instead, we can actually learn from it. While we take part in charity work to help the impoverished people, we can not only lend them a helping hand, but also introduce Tzu Chi to them.
In the process of giving, she has also become more open-minded.
I was wondering why other people's children were so smart and studied well, and why other people's husbands worked so hard and ran business well. I used to think that things did not turn out the way I expected, but after witnessing other people's suffering, I think I should seize the chance to help people in need.
Tzu Chi volunteer Han Bingdan has conflicts with her rebellious son very often. After serving as a volunteer, she has changed her mindset and softened herself, making the parents-child relationship more harmonious.
I have been subtly influenced, and I realized that only by changing myself could I change other people. I should treat my child in the same way. For example, I should care more about him and talk gently to him rather than scold him. After seeing my transformations, he also humbled himself.
One of Ms. Han's purposes on her trip from Malaysia to Taiwan was to attend the sharing session. She has learned from Dr. Zhao Youchen, the superintendent of Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital, how to conduct charity mission with love.
Another soon-to-be Tzu Chi commissioner is an oncologist from Malaysia. Practicing for over 20 years now, Ho Gong-Huang became a doctor to help alleviate the pain and sufferings of both the patients and their families, since he himself knows the feelings of being in their shoes all too well.
When I was in high school, my mother got ill. That's when I realized how frightening it is to be a patient's family. Once I met the doctor in the hospital, and I grabbed him to ask for advice. A short 20 seconds soothed my anxiety.
Ho Guohuang set up his goal to become a doctor because he felt the helplessness of the patient's family. He has been an ontologist for 20 years. He sees the chance to volunteer whenever he has time.
Doctors are busy, and sometimes being busy makes you confused. If it's only for the money, you will still feel empty spiritually.
Since he learned about Tzu Chi 10 years ago, he started to study Buddhism. He practiced what he learned in Buddhism in medicine, hoping to heal both the patient's body and mind.
Buddhism is about life. You will realize that you can find answers to some of your worries in life when you study Buddhism. You can use last night's scripture today.
This year, he came back to Taiwan to be certified as a Tzu Chi commissioner. Ho Guohuang expects himself to keep in mind his initial aspirations.
Dharma Master Zheng Yin said a phrase that I keep in mind. She said that people's heart is always drifting, so everything can change in a blink of the eye. We disciples must study harder and set a higher standard for ourselves.
He sees every patient as his family member and tries his best to ease their pain. Ho Guohuang hoped to live his life to the fullest by fulfilling his medical profession and Tzu Chi missions.
Chen Meijing had headed to the Kaohsiung Jingsi Hall years ago to register as a potential donor in the stem cell database. After 4 years' time, she was matched successfully to Ling Suzhen, who lives in Macau. Let's check out this incredible journey. A simple music box with a little girl holding a cake and embodies the joy of being reborn again. Flying around her is a kind of compassionate angel in the plane.
When I was about 26 years old, I went with a friend to visit someone at a hospital who was a leukemia patient. At that time, my heart was full of sadness.
All she wanted was to help others. Chen Meijing, in addition to the regular blood donation drives, she decided to register as a donor when she was 38 years old. 4 years later, she received a call.
I was working and going to school at the same time, so I was really busy. I was pretty drained both physically and mentally. After the donation procedure was done, I was in physical pain for more than a month.
Thinking of everything as just a test in life, not a single moment does she regret her decision to donate. Chen Meijing, who had donated hematopoietic stem cells, is thankful for the arrangement by fate. Meijing's grateful heart had given Ling Suzhen, who lives 700 kilometers away in Macau, the motivation to fight for her life again.
She is grateful for me for giving her this chance to give of herself, to do a good deed, to do a compassionate act. It had completely stirred up all my emotions, because she was one step ahead of me. It should have been me writing to her first, sending the card to thank her. However, she was so much faster than me. She ended up thanking me first.
你看到我吗？我就是想让你看看我这么高，然后还是很活泼。谢谢你，
谢谢。
The touching tears are filled with endless gratitude. The fact that she can travel to Taiwan healthy is already a success. Ling Suzhen recalls 3 years ago, she had undergone 6 chemotherapy sessions. She was worried about the health risk of a transplant, so she had refused surgery. It wasn't until the doctors repeatedly advised her otherwise that she give it another thought.
The doctor had told me if I waited until there was a recurrence episode, he didn't know if there would be any effective medication to control the disease. And if there were medications, he doesn't know if I would get pneumonia or not. And if I were to be cleared for pneumonia, would the donor still be willing to donate at that time? Even if the donor still agreed to donate, would there be a room available? So I thought long and hard about what he said. His sincere advice really changed my mind. So I just said, okay, let's do it. This little girl wearing a birthday hat and holding a birthday present is me. And this birthday gift is the donated bone marrow.
Seizing the chance to be reborn again, the heart is filled with immense gratitude toward the angel donor who flew from Taiwan to Macau. Great love transcends all borders. This occasion has been a blessing for both parties.
那都是我们上辈子结的缘，然后希望你继续健健康康、快快乐乐的。
哦，谢谢。
每个日子，
我也谢谢你，我也希望我变成你这么温柔。
谢谢，谢谢。
Today, we will meet Dr. Xiao Zhongkai, a radiologist at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital. He is one of the leading researchers when it comes to stem cell therapy and was recognized with the Medical Research Award by the new Taipei City government. As society ages, the number of patients with degenerative or impaired brain functioning will increase. Therefore, the use of stem cells is one of the most important ways to treat these diseases in the future. Studies have shown that stem cells have the opportunity to repair injured tissues. However, how can doctors observe the exact location and progress of the repair? In view of this, Dr. Xiao Zhongkai has been actively researching in this field starting from more than 10 years ago. During this period, he was also recognized with the Wu Dayou Commemorative Award for his efforts.
The
goal of the research is focused on is there's a chance for us to learn more about the implanted stem cells. By using our current available medical imaging equipment, is it possible to see more in-depth? Perhaps in this way we can understand more thoroughly the contribution of the stem cells in the cell repair cycle.
Magnetic nano-ion oxide materials have been used in medical detection and diagnosis in recent years. Dr. Xiao Zhongkai has mastered the characteristics of ion oxide nanoparticles through animal testing. He further combined that with stem cells implantation and then with medical imaging tracking. This allows physicians to monitor the path and location of stem cell repairs.
Iron oxide nanoparticles itself already has a signal of magnetic resonance imaging. So once we put it inside the stem cells themselves also will have a signal with magnetic resonance imaging. So stem cell therapy is where we inject the stem cell into the animal and we can see how it moves and manifests itself within the animal's body.
Medical research is a long and arduous process. In order to provide patients with better treatment options, Dr. Xiao Zhongkai continues to persist in his research efforts. Recently, he was awarded the Medical Research Award by the new Taipei City government. Two school-age children in the Philippines suffer from congenital cataracts. Therefore, both are unable to attend school due to their poor vision. When Tzu Chi volunteers heard of this case, they immediately provided medical assistance to the family.
It is easy for ordinary children to practice writing with pen and paper, but it's quite difficult for Christoph, who suffers from cataracts. His mother took him for treatment, but the cost of an operation was too expensive for the single parent to afford.
When I found out that my son had cataracts in his eyes, I took him to the hospital for an exam. The doctor said that his cataracts are quite thick and require surgery, but the cost of surgery is 87,000 pesos, and I don't have that much money.
Another child, John, also suffers from eye diseases. One eye has retinal detachment, and the other eye suffers from a cataract. From birth, his mother worried about his eyes and now finally has the chance to help him seek treatment in Manila.
One eye can see and the other eye cannot see. The vision is difficult to re-establish, but with the help of our surgery, because of Tzu Chi Foundation, we're able to give him the chance that I will be able to see, and then it doesn't look unsightly anymore.
After the operation, I noticed a change in my son. I found the eye that it operated on has clear vision now. When he walks, he doesn't always wander off course.
These two poor children from Bohol have received assistance to clear up their poor vision. Tzu Chi Philippines chapter provided help with both surgery cost and round-trip transportation.
Usually in children, if the cataract is removed very much earlier, then vision is almost as good as normal. Like almost they can achieve 20/20.
After the operation, the two children will once again be able to see the beauty of the world again.
Since Typhoon Haiyan struck the Philippines 5 years ago, Tzu Chi volunteers have taken root in Tacloban. For the annual large free clinic, in the ophthalmology area where many cataract surgeries take place, one local volunteer who had cross eyes was finally able to undergo the necessary surgery as well.
As the patients are waiting to undergo cataract surgeries, the volunteers are providing explanations or organizing the files. This volunteer, Alyssa, is kind and gentle. The 20-year-old social worker major has just graduated. She keeps covering her right eye with her bangs, which makes the doctor feel curious.
The doctor came up to me and asked, "Wait, why are you covering one of your eyes?" He brushed aside my bangs. "Oh, I know it now. Would you agree if I perform a surgery on you?" I was really surprised.
The fact is her right eye is crossed, and therefore she covers it with her bangs. When Typhoon Haiyan struck 5 years ago, Tzu Chi helped her family, and therefore she has always wanted to come and volunteer.
We received $280. I agreed when she said that she wanted to be a volunteer, but we did not expect that they would provide her with the necessary surgery.
Up to the surgery day, Alyssa can still hardly believe this is real.
Of course, I'm very happy. After 20 years, I can finally undergo the necessary surgery, but I'm still afraid.
The Manila Tima Eye team is well prepared, and the volunteers are also by her side, giving her the necessary support. The delicate surgery went very smoothly.
Open your eyes. Look here. Look at me. Oh, okay lang.
Of course, I'm grateful. Thank you very much. Thank you. It still hurts a little bit.
Thank you.
Her volunteer work is met with recompense. Now she can look straight and confident. After the cataract surgeries are finished, a large free clinic is about to take place. At the annual free clinic, many local residents have come to volunteer. The Ormoc volunteers have come here. More volunteers from distant Marikina and Manila have often come to help out since Typhoon Haiyan occurred.
The volunteers from Manila, Ormoc, and Bohol Island are helping us, putting our mind at ease. Therefore, we are doing this with confidence.
Now that the volunteers from different places are helping out, Jose Yu, who's in charge of Tacloban Liaison Office, does not have to fight alone. The 36-year-old man is a local Chinese entrepreneur who joined Tzu Chi after Typhoon Haiyan took place. He helps volunteers from different countries communicate. For more than a month, he has been busy with coordination work, putting his own business aside. Although he's physically tired, he feels it is worth the effort.
I think this free clinic can help more than 6,000 patients. I feel that all the hard work is worthwhile.
Free clinic, cataract surgeries, and the exhibition at the shopping center took place one after another. The work is made possible with Tzu Chi volunteers leading local volunteers. Regular study sessions are also held at the Tzu Chi Tacloban Liaison Office so that the local volunteers can learn and grow. Without these joint efforts, Tzu Chi volunteers will be able to spread Tzu Chi's principles to more corners of Tacloban.
The Parliament of the World's Religions took place in Toronto, Canada. This year, 2 Dharma masters from the Jingsi of Bo in Hualien, Taiwan, attended the event to represent the Tzu Chi Foundation. They strongly promoted the concepts of vegetarianism, environmental protection, and how different religious organizations all need to unite in order to spread the power of great love to all of humanity.
In Tzu Chi's kindergarten, we teach children about protecting animals and respecting life.
We hope the way we live can inspire people to change their lifestyle.
We would like to unite everyone from different religions and then have more power on the people so that we can have a better world as well.
A lot of times, people see the differences in religions, but the core value of religion is love. So if we can go deeper in our heart and deeper into the teachings of our religion, then we'll be able to find something in common. And this commonness is what will bring us together.
I'm Catholic myself, and I was thrilled to hear that people who are Catholic are also volunteering in Tzu Chi. That is important to me, because to talk about these things on a purely theoretical level or on a philosophical level when work needs to be done seems inadequate to me. And Tzu Chi is getting the work done.
Buddhist Tzu Chi epitomizes what many of these faith-based entities indeed do. You provide services to communities. You deliberately find where there are people who are on the margins and outliers to serve them, to work with them, and you're completely inspired by Buddhist principles.
Master Zheng Yan say, do good deeds. Small actions can have a big impact, big change. So the whole topics is really demonstrate action, Buddhism in action.
After the Parliament of the World's Religions venue came to a close, the Dharma Masters took the time to visit the newly opened Tzu Chi Clinic of Traditional Chinese Medicine within the Humber College campus. The Dharma Masters related the message of just how grateful Tzu Chi is for their full support of promoting TCM treatment in Western society.
In Canada, 2 Dharma masters from Hualien's Jingsi abode have taken the time to visit the Tzu Chi Clinic of Traditional Chinese Medicine, which opened in early October.
The tabletop is made up of antibacterial properties. 99.8% of the bacteria won't survive on the tabletop. It is not because we use bactericides, but it's due to its special material makeup. Therefore, bacteria cannot survive on it.
The Tzu Chi Foundation opened this new TCM clinic at the Humber College, combining clinical services, teaching classes, and research labs. The clinic's equipment is also multifunctional.
这个床啊，这个床是可以折起来背着走的。哦。在它上面又可以做到300磅。是那个义诊的时候其实很方便。对，我们去义诊就是带这种床去。 就折起来就带走了。
Nice to see you. Welcome. The Dharma Masters have also donated to the school a one-year scholarship program for TCM majors.
TCM on campus here, only public institution in Canada that has a program. So that's obviously we like to differentiate ourselves, and that's one of the things that we've been able to do. But we could not have done it without your support.
We're actually very grateful to you for supporting, especially the Chinese medicine, because right now Dharma Master she's very supportive of. She wants to promote Chinese medicine. Right.
The TCM treatment, which combines medical professionalism and Tzu Chi's humanistic culture, is becoming more influential in Canada.
A 16-year-old second-generation new immigrant, Zheng Zifang, lost her father 4 years ago, leaving behind her and her Indonesian mother. To make ends meet, her mother has to work 2 jobs to support the family. The teen was recently chosen as a Tzu Chi Scholarship recipient, which greatly helps to reduce the family's financial burden. She hopes one day of becoming a social worker so that she too can help others in need.
When she thinks of her father, 16-year-old Zifang picks up her cell phone.
My father would take me to pick mulberries and take me to play. We would also go to his friend's house to watch birds.
Zifang's father passed away 4 years ago, leaving her alone with her Indonesian mother.
Her mother really has a difficult life. She has to work 2 jobs each day, and then Zifang has to look after herself.
Her mother is a beautician, and Zifang is frequently at her side, attending to her studies.
She's a very independent girl. She helps from caring for her father to his passing. In the first year of junior high, she carefully planned all of her homework. I never had to really worry.
你知道不惊跟哄堂大笑的意思吗？不知道。不惊就是忍不住，然后哄堂就是众人一起大声笑。
Her mother can't read Chinese characters as she has to help her brother do his homework.
同学会不会因为妈妈不识字而嘲笑你？
不会啊，觉得他看不懂正常啦。
Zifang is also a very kind and considerate student in class.
Sometimes she may realize that other people may be in a bad mood. She cares for them and will try to humor them to make them feel better.
As a second-generation new immigrant, she puts great effort into her studies as a means out of poverty. She also wants to become a social worker to give other people a chance to live a better life.
Unfortunately, the California wildfire in the U.S. continues to rage on. Therefore, U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers immediately headed to 7 different local shelters and conducted emergency aid distributions of more than 2,000 eco-friendly blankets to the affected residents. Tzu Chi will continue to care for all those who are affected. Please keep praying for no more disasters in the world. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. See you next time.